Welcome to the fight game. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and I'd like to congratulate Alex Pereira. Saturday night, dominant performance, 25 seconds into the fight, or I think a little bit more than that. But I don't know where else this guy can go. I know people have been talking about John Jones, all that other stuff. It seems like they're good friends. But just like saying congratulations to him and how hard he's working and being dominant in the sport. But let's go to boxing, and I'm gonna let you take over. What's happening in boxing, man?
Well, we got a few things going on. First of all, we're going to talk about a little bit about the last point, if you will, about Canelo versus Crawford, right? A little last little thing I want to throw out there, and please, you're welcome to join in or whatever. What I find ironic about this is I still don't think that people really understand what Bud Crawford did when he defeated Canelo. A lot of people talk about how amazing and whatnot, but when you think about people were shocked why more people initially did not think Bud Crawford was going to win. Think about it from this standpoint. For 12 years, Canelo has been pretty dominant in his area, in the sport of boxing for a while. The last time we saw him really limited or get frustrated or whatever, even though the Bivol loss was tough, people kind of said, he moved up. So he was trying to be great, trying to achieve greatness. So they kind of gave him a pass on that. But almost 12 years ago, from the standpoint of when he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr., when he was a young man, you saw him seem very ordinary, right? So for 12 years, Canelo has been dominant. And if there are younger fans out there, all they have known is Canelo winning and being dominant, going up, beating undefeated champions at junior middleweight, whatever. That's all they've known. So when you get a so-called a smaller guy like Crawford, and some people look at his resume, said, "Oh, we don't know if he's going to do it. He's not strong enough." And once Canelo catches him, and then of course Crawford goes, "I'm gonna stand there and fight him." But when he got into the ring, the strategy was totally different because he did it his way, combination of things of moving around. And the most important thing when you think about Canelo, even over the 12 years of his whole career, is this. Canelo has problem with movement.
Mm.
Okay? Boxers, people that can move around and punch. Even to the point of Charlo, who some of my best friends say ran. This is true. He had trouble catching those guys. But mostly in his tenure of boxing, Canelo will let you run, and most guys tire or they get lackadaisical in their effort, and he catches them and he knocks them out. That's Canelo's MO. Or he's able to do enough to impress you to win the fight. That's what he's done. But when you have a guy that understands the mission, and that's what Terrence Crawford did, he's able to move around, use the whole ring, frustrating hitting when he wanted to, because he was never there. Somewhat a la Floyd, but he did it closer to where he wanted to do it, and some mixture of Bivol as well, his style. But it was Terrence Crawford's way, because no one thought he could do it. And that to me built his legend, his legacy, also built upon his Hall of Fame career, the way that he did it. I'm just interested to see what he does next because he says he doesn't think he's going to retire. It's just a possibility he could drop down to 160. I just hope we get to see him in some real fights against some other guys at the lower weight and not just because of the cash. Because he deserves the money. He's been underpaid for a long time. But I like to see him with some, at least two more fights if he wants to do it against some quality opponents that really will lift his star even more.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that he's going to continue. I don't think he's going to go for the 50-0 record. If he does, good luck to him because I think he just turned 38 years old. And so I don't expect him to fight too much longer unless he has it within him to continue fighting. And I like to piggyback on what you said about Canelo. A lot of people I've talked to like Canelo is washed up and he shouldn't fight anymore. No, stop saying that. I'm tired of the era of people saying once a fighter loses one or two fights, that they're done. We know when fighters are done. We've watched fights. You and I watch fights where you go, you know what? Maybe this is it for him. He doesn't have the speed. He can't get away from the punches and things of that sort. But Canelo can still fight on an elite level. Now I know I've said that the reason why I didn't like Canelo is because he was cherry picking fights. But I got to give him credit. He stepped up. He wanted to fight Crawford. Crawford wanted to fight him. And so they made it happen. He was humble in defeat. And, he gave the credit to Crawford. But he's not done. He's not done. He can still fight. He can still fight at a high level. And so just because a fighter loses one or two fights when they're undefeated doesn't mean that you throw out the fighter. Ali lost fights. Some of the best lost fights. Sugar Ray Robinson lost fights. Some of the best fighters that you've ever seen have lost fights. Okay, some people go undefeated. Very few go undefeated. But check out the resume. Did they fight everybody they were supposed to fight in their prime? In their prime. And so stop throwing out these fighters once they lose fights or big fights like this. They can still go out there and compete on a high level. And you say it all the time, styles make fights. Maybe the style didn't fit Canelo. He lost the fight, and so be it. He can fight other people who have a style that he can handle, and he can still win, and still make money, and still be a great Mexican champion.
No doubt. Next topic, we want to talk about the new organization, Zuffa Boxing. That is definitely going to be interesting coming into being a major player in the boxing world. That's a group that is includes Dana White, right? Also, the WWE president. Go figure that. And Turkey Al Sheikh. So they're putting that together. If nothing else, they put money behind it. So they're planning 12 events in 2026. 12 already.
I'm gonna raise my hand and ask a question.
Sure.
I smell WWE all over again. I do. I'm sorry, bro. I smell it. I smell it. There's just too much money to be made to kind of tinker with these fights, man. I see it. These cast of characters, oh man, I don't trust it. I'm like PE. Can't trust it, man. Can't trust it. They're putting a lot of money behind it. They don't expect to lose money. So some of these, I smell WWE. When you said the WWE, I'm like, oh no. You saw my head go back. This is bad, man. This is gonna be, and I wouldn't put it past them if they had one of the Paul or both the Paul brothers jump into this too, man. Because if it's becoming entertainment, man, I don't know. No, get me off the ledge, bro. Because I'm that's the first thing that turned my stomach. Like, oh, this ain't good.
Now, we also know that people that are in different arenas do make investments in things that they're not really experts in. So maybe that's what WWE because they have a relationship, but they see how much money is a possibility, right? And maybe they're expanding from that standpoint. But I will agree, if we do see them promoting fights with the Paul brothers under this umbrella, I would be one to say, oh, this could be just some shenanigans. Because that is very nervous because we know those that should know that they are exhibitionists, they're not boxers, the Paul brothers. I don't care what you say. But I'm gonna look at it from a different standpoint. If Zuffa Boxing really wants to make a difference, they also have Paramount and CBS as their television sponsors. You can do a lot because one, you can put free fights on CBS like they used to do back in the day. Paramount, they can do some other things too. But what I'm thinking is if you really want to make a difference in boxing, you want to get some really great fights like has been happening before, or we're getting some of these fights, why not focus on having rankings? Like, for instance, Top Rank has rankings, or the Ring magazine has rankings. Whatever ranking group you choose to go with, go inside the rankings like they used to do back in the day. Like, for instance, let's go to junior welterweight and let's rank these fighters 1 by 10, right? 1 to 10. He said, okay. So right now, number one in junior welterweight is Teofimo Lopez. Number two is Richardson Hitchens, that just recently won a title. Number three is Sabril Matias. And number five is Gary Antoine Russell. Could be some nice little mix and match in there. 1 through 5, 2 and 3, go from there. Then we go to lightweight. 135 will be even more interesting if you mix it up. Number one is Shakur Stevenson. Number two is Tank Davis if he ever fights again. Number three is Keyshawn Davis. We know he made some moves up. Number five is Lamont Roach. And number eight is Frank Martin. So mixing and matching, we could get some really good bouts if that's what they want to do. But then again, there's no guarantee. But those, I would like to start seeing rankings and division fights in between, fights between divisions, guys in the same division, going back and forth, trying to build themselves up to a shot at the title.
Okay, I'm on reserve. Any more comments about it until I actually see it? But man, if there's some funny stuff going on, bro, I mean, talk about a black eye on boxing. Oh my God, it'll.
So I'm gonna say there's only one fight I want to see, and they can have WWE, whoever the hell they want to. I don't want to see one fight, and I need to see this fight. I want to see it because it makes more sense. The Monster in a way versus Nakatani
Yeah.
in Japan.
And let me ask you this, because you texted me about this, and Anthony Joshua, and there was a report that Bill Haney was telling Terrence Crawford a long time ago, stop looking at Spence and go after Canelo because I think you could beat him. And he started putting the bug in your boy's ear, Andre Ward's ear, to go after Anthony Joshua because he thinks he could beat him. What are your thoughts to that?
Well, I mean, first of all, Bill Haney, he was spot on with the telling Crawford. I have a problem with that. But to me, to act as if he's some guru, I ain't doing all that. I'm sorry. Nah, I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm glad Terrence Crawford gave him his just due by telling him he was the one that said it to really have him thinking about it. And I can see why he would say Andre Ward telling him about Joshua, and Joshua said, yeah, I'll do it. Because simply think about it from this standpoint. And you got to give him credit where credit is due, Bill Haney, that is. See, you saw what Usyk did, the little man, did to Joshua. And again, another big guy that has problem with movement. And Andre Ward was known for his movement. And if he's able to move the way he's able to do that, and Joshua's chin at times have been suspect as he's gotten older, and Andre Ward's probably thinking, yeah, that's something I think I can do. Now notice certain times when you go to a heavyweight, certain fighters pick the right fighter, the opponent to face. Roy Jones did it, John Ruiz, right? You pick the right person to face that you think you can beat with your mobility. So I don't have a problem with that. But for as much as you want to give Bill Haney credit for that, I let you do that. But if he's such a matchmaker, tell me this.
Yeah.
Why is it that he put his son in the ring with Ryan Garcia when Ryan Garcia was supposed to be overweight, he was drinking, he was smoking, they thought he was doing drugs, and literally came in and showed you he was overweight. And he said, I'll pay the fine. Don't worry about it. Whatever y'all. And they thought he was out of his mind. He was so crazy, he would not be prepared. Not knowing that Ryan Garcia was going to use the weight advantage, to his advantage. And not only that, he paid the fine, but supposedly these two men, Devin Haney and Devin Haney and him and Garcia fought 6 times as amateurs. So you knew the main thing he throws is that left hook. Everybody knows it. Ever since he was a kid, his strongest thing is the left hook. But my question is this. If you are the matchmaker and you understand you have your son's best interest at heart, why would you allow him after Ryan Garcia said he can't make the weight? Why would you let him fight that fight? Why? Because they thought it was going to be easy. They said, "Oh, Ryan's so messed up. You'll beat him easily because he's not prepared." Why would you put him in there? Most people will say, "Oh, you're 6, 8 pounds overweight. We're not taking that fight. You want
Right.
to get serious? You want to make weight? Come see us." But they literally thought, I'm sure Bill did, that oh, this kid's messed up in his brain. This will be easy work. What it was an easy ass whooping.
Mm.
And they talk about the drugs. I mean, we rock with the drugs too. He was on something. He wasn't on nothing, something that bad. Because them punches did not say, I'm on drugs. Them punches like, you can't do nothing about this. And as much as a courageous warrior Devin Haney is and was, every time he got up, because he could have been down, he kept getting up and kept getting knocked down. But I think that night he knew, uh-oh, we made a mistake.
Mm.
And Ryan Garcia is up and down from time to time. But that night, he's on point.
Yeah.
He was on point. So I hear kudos to Bill. Hopefully he could keep doing some other things and keep getting it right. But I'm gonna need a few more matchmaking options before I start crowning him.
If you want to crown him, crown him.
Yeah, crown that motherfucker. You want to crown it? We'll start crowning
Let him
the
off the
matchmaker. Like Denny Green, rest in peace. You want to crown him? Crown him,
crown
man.
him. That was classic. That's
Yes,
classic.
it was.
That'll be 100 years from now. That'll be in the highlights of crash outs at the end of
Yeah.
football games. Anything other boxing news, man?
Yeah, we just got some good things coming up in October. You had a couple things coming up. I really want to see Keith Thurman versus Fedor. Keith Thurman should be retired. I wanted to put him to sleep. Keith Thurman's going down. I want to see him lose. I'm tired of it. Stephen Cowboy Fulton, and also Ashoki Foster. It's going to be a good fight. And then, of course, Virgil Ortiz down the line later on in the year versus Erickson Lubin. And one last thing, two actually, you got the Brian Norman versus Devin Haney in November. But the one thing I found ironic, and comes back to style makes fights and how people select and pick opponents that they think they can beat or very comfortable with because of the style. Been hearing rumors somebody wants to fight Rolly Romero for his belt, and it's Manny Pacquiao
Yeah, yeah, I
in
heard.
January.
Yeah,
And I really think that even though Pacquiao's older, he thinks that the mentality of Rolly Romero can be off, and he has enough to get into his brain and take his title. And I think that's why he's chasing it because you never know what Rolly you're going to get. Is it
yeah,
going to be the guy that faces Garcia, or is it going to be somebody else? And the way that Pacquiao goes, he probably think he's stronger mentally, and as long as he still has some more physical attributes, I think he think it's easy pickings for him to win that fight in January if that's what they do.
yeah. I saw that last fight with Pacquiao, and Pacquiao, it's almost like he was trying to recapture the glory years, and it didn't look like he was recapturing it. And I don't
Yeah.
know if it was rust. I don't. It's probably more of a father time,
Mhm.
my opinion. But if he thinks he can get him, and he can take one more hurrah and then win the championship and then bow out, I can't be mad at him. That's what he wants to do. But if Pacquiao wants to keep fighting, I'm very worried about him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
He's Icewater on Puma, and this is the Fight Game.